Hello, Z98. Actually, this is Z90.7 FM. Sorry, this is Piedmont University Athletics on YouTube. Matt Kudrowski and Simon Johnstone bringing you action from the Walker Athletic Complex, where is the season, or at least the regular season finale, for the Piedmont men's soccer team as they host the number one team in the conference, the Belhaven Blazers. Matt Kudrowski, Simon Johnstone. Simon, what sticks out to you about this matchup?
Well, it's a huge matchup, as you just mentioned, Matt, not only because it's the last one of the season, but Piedmont still has an opportunity to vie for some conference playoff positioning. They're currently sitting second to last in the conference with an overall record of 2-3 on the season, and they are playing, as you mentioned, the number one team currently ranked in the conference. But last year they did steal away a victory. They scored in the later minutes of that matchup, and they're coming in off a 2-game skid against Maryville and Covenant. Both times they have found the back of the net. There's one thing we know about the Lions lineup. They are dangerous on the offensive end, but against them is a very formidable defense, a team that's only allowed 9 goals all season. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup because it's really an offensive powerhouse versus a defensive stronghold. So I'm really curious how this one's going to play out.
45 goals scored by the Lions over the course of this season. Absolutely an explosive offense compared to Belhaven's 23 goals this season, but that goals against is the big kicker right there. We're going to have the national anthem get started as the teams take to the pitch. We're going to take a break. You're listening to Piedmont University Athletics on YouTube. Welcome back to Piedmont University Athletics on YouTube, bringing you the action here from the Walker Athletic Complex. Just brought up how this is quite a challenge for the men's soccer team today. This ain't going to be the same. It went down 364 days ago when they faced Belhaven. Quite literally almost exactly a year ago today. We're one day off from that, which, man, that would have been scheduling heaven.
Brilliance, if not by the athletic communications department and overall just scheduling the athletic calendar. But, we're as close as you could possibly be. And
that game occurred on the road at Belhaven, and the Lions won by a final score of 1-0, and thus we have a series record of 1-0. So we will see how the Lions do now hosting the Belhaven Blazers, and they have been incredible. They have not lost a conference game all season. They come in 3-0-2, 7-2-5 overall, and riding a 2-game winning streak.
Yeah.
Well, for the Lions, they've lost their last 2 games on the road at Maryville, at Covenant. They take this series back home where they've won the last 2 home games.
Yeah, they've been very strong at home. Taking a quick look at their record, I mean, they are racking up more wins than losses when they find themselves at the Walker Athletic Complex, and especially just conference-wise, they're currently undefeated. So if there's anything to think about when they're at home with a conference foe, it's there's usually some good energy, some good fortune on their side when they take the turf here in Demarest, Georgia. And I think this is just going to be one explosive matchup. Expect the Lions to come out really quick. They're using a lot of pace up top. Some players to note as we'll get into the starting lineups in a second. You've got Colin Vogel and Davis Knight usually being the starting two strikers. Then you got players like Andre Grant up on the right side and Ricardo Reeves, just a bunch of players who can fly up the pitch with them and just be weapons from outside, inside, and really all around the field.
We'll have our sideline officials go to 10-2 the Nets prior to the start of the game. Speaking of tending the nets, let's look at who's tending the nets. Out there will be the one number that we can't see, but the one number that we all know is out there. It's number 1 for the Lions, Bobby Wood. Also out there is another number 1. So we have both number 1s out there. It's Max Rudolph for the Blazers. And my goodness, these two have been stellar. The one difference that we've seen has been the goals allowed. 9 goals allowed by Max Rudolph. He has a save percentage of 83% and a goals against average of less than a goal a game.
Absolutely, yeah. The defensive structure by Belhaven is definitely something to marvel at. They're a team that plays extremely well connected, and of course when you have such a good goalie in Rudolph between the sticks, it makes the defender's life a little bit easier because even if you get beat, you know you have a really strong presence at the goal. And with the Lions, it looks to be potentially a 2-striker up top formation. They like to alternate between 1 and 2, depending on where Vogel plays this afternoon. He may just be on the left wing, accompanied by, I believe that to be Castro on the right wing. So a bit of a different formation here for the Lions, but regardless, expect a lot of early action as we get underway.
Belhaven will start with it. This is going to be a boot going deep into Lions territory, and that will touch down over into the Lions bench. Speaking of touchdown, welcome to College Football Saturday. Piedmont style. Allen will be taken out over along the Belhaven bench. Lions will be awarded possession. Here's the throw-in. Looking for Davis Knights. Taken away by the Blazers. Shifty move to get by. Al Swady at midfield. He'll force it back in. Intercepted by the Blazers, and this one's fed up. Right now it's Adrian Sanchez. Stripped away by the Lions defense. They'll need to be on point all day, especially given the fact that they have allowed 42 goals this entire season.
The Lions play such a breakneck form of offense and defense. They like to go aggressive on both ends of the pitch, so keep an eye out for a couple lunges here and there. When it works, they are a team that can transition immediately on the attack, but sometimes that overextension can lead to some easier opportunities for their opponents. Right now, they have a lot of pace back in their line with Grant and Mattis alongside Cash in that defensive structure, so they can recover quickly on the defensive end as the ball's serviced into the 18, finding the feet of Grant eventually, who's going to kick it out for a throw-in.
I mean, I guess it's better a throw-in than a corner kick, so that was a fairly good option there. And then at the very least, it seemed like he was trying to bank it off the Blazer that was blazing right behind him, a chance to knock that out and have possession yourself. So instead, we'll see a throw-in for the Blazers. We're along the right side. That one goes off the foot of Al Swady. Austin will force it up. Davis Knight looking to track it down. The Blazers force it back in. Grant. Now he'll take it up. Give it to Al Swady. Al Swady trying to force it out. He's tripped up. No whistle called. Al Swady gesturing for some kind of call there, and I think I tend to agree with him on that one.
Yeah, interesting tackle. Came in from the side, a little bit behind, but he seemed to have caught enough of the ball for the head referee to not lick his lips and blow the whistle just yet. I love a physical brand of soccer, so if that's what we happen to get tonight or this evening, it'll be a good day.
As long as the physicality is kept at somewhat of a premium, and a Blazer trips up on his own 2 feet. That was number 10, Jacob Rakielman. And this is a heck of a difference from the game from last night with the women's soccer game, because we could see the jerseys from all the way down where the goal is.
It's a beautiful luxury to be able to actually read the numbers, and I think the lighting helps a little bit, but Credit to both teams for having enough of a difference between the jersey number and the jersey color for us to be able to read it out here.
The Blazers, this is a deep kick, and that looked more like a field goal we'd see from one of the kickers out there in the NCAA football. American football, not so much soccer. I mean, that one was good, too, over the top of the fence. And make Justin Tucker proud. Delroy Mattis going to send this one down the length of the field. Blazers looking to track it down. Davis Knight is right there, and that it almost seemed like a flop there by Lex Rogers. Apparently, Davis Knight actually stepped on the back of his cleat, so he has to get his foot back in his shoe. Wood will scoop up the ball as Mattis hits the deck. He'll be helped back up, and Wood will roll it out.
And you can already tell this type of matchup is going to be one of the most end-to-end battles the Lions have faced so far this year, as the ball just continuously flows through both offenses so effortlessly, and with a lot of deep threatening balls, both teams on the defensive end have to be able to recover quickly.
Austin setting this one down. He's looking for Danny Castro. Castro trying to chase that one down. It's cleared out by Lex Rogers. Keep an eye on Lex Rogers. He leads Belhaven in goals so far this season with 4. He also leads them in points because he has 2 assists as well. So that's a grand total of 10 points. It's nice when the stats on the back of the lineup sheets are in ascending or descending order of goals and points. Lions with possession in their offensive zone. They're going to carry it back out. This one's going to be forced back in. Belhaven will take it up. Good, solid rub out by the Lions. It's taken out over along the Belhaven bench. Belhaven will maintain possession, and we'll see a throw-in here along the sideline. Belhaven in midfield. That one's forced out again. Will stay with the Blazers.
I'm a big fan of how much physicality is already being displayed on both sides of this matchup, and credit to the head referee for letting them play here this afternoon. I think that's exactly what both teams, in terms of their brand of soccer, lines up with, and I think we're in for a couple of interesting tackles, a couple of memorable moments, I think, in the physicality aspect here this afternoon.
Austin will throw things in for the Lions. It's a give to Davis Knight. Knight was trying to go midfield. Mattis will take it up. This one's sent back up for Cash. Cash trying to get by, and this one's taken away by the Blazers in midfield. Blazers entering the offensive zone. Lead pass extended a little too far. We'll see a throw-in for the Lions. Mattis will throw it in. He's looking for Vogel. Can't tell if it went off of a Blazer or not. It looks like it did. Grant will throw it in. Now he's looking for Knight. Knight with possession still. Ruiz will send this over for Castro. It's cleared out by the Blazers, but the Lions managed to retain the ball, staying at midfield right now. Al-Swady for Mattis. Now that back row defenders forcing it up for Grant. Andre Grant. Leading it on for Vogel. Vogel along the left side, now in the offensive zone or by the left corner. It's cleared out by the Blazers. Austin will track it down. He'll let it go pass, and we'll see a throw-in for the Lions.
The left side of this field for the Lions is such a threatening, dynamic duo. You've got Grant along with Vogel, who are just probably the 2 quickest players on this Lions roster, and so when those 2 can connect, they play between each other. That is going to be a recipe for disaster for this Belhaven defense.
Vogel at midfield. He's circling back. He's going to lead this one on for Ruiz. Ruiz leading it for Castro. Castro in the offensive zone. Crossfield pass cleared out by Rogers, but Lions keep possession. It's Cash. Cash fighting for it along that right side by the Belhaven bench. He's got it. Cash cutting back. It's taken away by the Blazers. Cash with a little slide tackle. Ball pops loose, and we have a whistle. Be a foul called on the Lions. Lex Rogers will look to force it back out for the Blazers. 36-40 left here in the first half. Rogers with the free kick on the way. Down goes the length of the field. Cash will let it roll out. We'll see a throw-in by the Lions. So far, very defensively played game so far, Simon.
Yeah, absolutely. As we mentioned in the pregame, just the defensive identity of the Belhaven Blazers is something that the Lions definitely had a scheme for. They know that they're a team that's really hard to penetrate when it comes to scoring goals. Of course, just 9 goals allowed is an attended combination between Davis Knight and Colin Vogel going to go awry. But, yeah, I think the Lions' best chance to grab a couple grab a couple goals here is to just find the seams where they can exploit their pace, utilize the quickness on the wings, and then cut inside to find Davis Knight, who's such a goal-scoring threat himself.
Blazers down the offensive zone. Shot over the top of the net. That's not the first time we've seen a shot sail over the top of the PVC pipes. We'll see a goalie kick by Mr. Wood. Give it to Cash. Cash sending this one deep. He's looking for Castro. Cleared out by the Blazers. Popped up. Cash sending this one forward. And now Ruiz will put his foot on it. Knight will look to track it down. And Knight is shoved down. And we have a whistle there. Foul called on the Blazers.
Smart play by Davis Knight, the freshman up top. He would just shield himself between the defender and the ball, which would basically bait the defender into either trying to go through him, which is eventually what happened, or just give up possession entirely. So very smart setup there, and the Lions have a free kick in a very threatening position.
Here's the shot. It was a look for Grant. Grant was going for the header. Couldn't quite get to it. Now we'll see the goalie kick from Max Rudolph. First time we've said his name so far in this game. It's a give to his teammate, who forces it to midfield. Al Swady will head it. Ruiz will track it down. There's a give back to Cash. James Cash beating that up for Castro off of his foot, taken away by the Blazers. And now Ruiz going the other way with it. He was leading that one on for Knight. Now Al Swady will boot it for Vogel. Vogel with some space. He weaves through, and it's cleared out by the Blazers. Great defense by Belhaven to shut down the speedy threat, Colin Vogel. Here's a lead on for Vogel. It's onside. Vogel cross field. He was looking for Knight. This one's going to be cleared out as that one touches down over to the Belhaven faithful bench. Well, not really bench, but the stands. A throw in for Vogel. Vogel working his way around the defenders. You still got it. It's going to roll out. It's touched by Vogel. And we'll see a goalie kick by Rudolph again.
One thing that likely plays a role in how scary of a defensive unit the Belhaven Blazers are is they run 4 defenders with at least one central defensive mid, if not 2, who likes to drop back. So nearly 6 defenders on their back line to help just shut down any offensive attack. So you're going to have to find those minuscule seams, which the Lions have done fairly well thus far, looking for Vogel and Castro on the wings. Is that one going to Castro, servicing the ball inside the 18, just a little too long for a goal kick.
Rudolph already his third goalie kick over the span of just a few minutes. Right now, the clock reading 32 minutes left Blazers send this one down. Al-Suwaidi will intercept it. Al-Suwaidi going the other way. He's penetrating. Blazers able to take it away. Slow day for the offense, and just as you say that, we have a stumble. A Blazer twisted as he falls. He's slow to get up. We have the whistle. Well, we see the trainers come to the field. Mattis tries to help him up. He's not looking for help to get up. He's going to get up on his own, it seems. The clock is still running. We're at 31:10 now.
Well, at the NCAA level, especially Division III, there's just a running clock. There's no stoppage time. There's no extra time. So any form of foul, you still run for that 45 minutes is exactly how long it goes. But while it's unfortunate that he went down and got hurt, he looks like he's going to continue the forward for Belhaven. I like the physicality by Grant. I like that he went in, took him down. The ref didn't even blow a whistle. It was a good challenge. It wasn't anything dirty, and that is the defensive structure and defensive aggressiveness I think the Lions need to hold off the Blazers' offense here today.
Rudolph will punt this one deep to midfield. It's going to be popped into the Lions' defensive territory. James Cass trying to close out. Belhaven still has it, and Mattis will clear that one out. Delroy Mattis utilizing his big frame to clog up the passing lanes. And Rogers will throw it in for Belhaven. Right now, we have two defenders at midfield for the Blazers. Here's the throw, and it goes off of Mattis. Knight looking to track it down, and it's taken away, cleared away by Mattis. And I can't tell if it was a clean shot by Mattis. It appears to be deflected off of a Belhaven Blazer. Over along the Lions bench. Blazers take it out again. There's another throw-in for the Lions. Cash looking for Castro. Led him a little too far. Blazers, a little bicycle kick to try and get it out of there. Al-Suwaidi sending it back, and now we have a whistle. There'll be a foul called on the Lions.
Castro, a little bit too much force on the back of that defender, but I like the idea there. Try to create a little bit of space. You can get away with it when the referee's vantage point is between the defender and yourself. Sometimes you can get an arm on the back of them. Unfortunately, just a little bit too hard of a push is going to draw the foul there. But the Lions and really the Blazers just vying for midfield superiority, as both defensive ends this far has just done a fantastic job shutting down any form of even the smallest amount of opportunity. So the Lions just, I think, need to open up the field a bit, go to the wings a little bit more. They're playing fairly straightforward, but neither team can really hold possession long enough to be able to, connect, chain together a couple passes and make their way to that defensive third.
So far, we've surprisingly enough only seen, or at least as the Piedmont Live stats have it recorded, so far one foul on each side. Feels like we've seen more. Allen's going to be cleared out as it goes back down the hill. Rogers will throw it in again. Score is still 0-0. 28 minutes left here in the first half. Lions defense has been very aggressive so far. And now they have a good chance here. Austin leading it on for Davis Knight. Davis Knight! Nothing but green ahead of him. Saved by Rudolph Vogel, trying to go for the rebound, and Max Rudolph is there to fall on it. The Belhaven faithful. Looks like they're trying to say that Davis Knight was offside.
One thing we've learned from these collegiate ARs throughout this season, and of course last season as well, is they're usually pretty on the money with these offside calls. I think that was beautifully timed by the freshman Davis Knight for the Lions. Just a better closeout, if you will, from Max Rudolph, the goalie for the Blazers.
Rudolph will send this one down. Ball is stationed at midfield. Al Swady sending it on. Davis Knight again looking to chase it down. Rudolph is there to catch it off the bounce. Thought we might see a throw. Instead, we'll see a punt. A little drop kick. Off of the foot of Castro. Knight takes it up, and it's cleared away by Belhaven again. Rudolph. Knight tried to step in front of it. It still gets through. Belhaven now at midfield. There's a lead on, taken away by the Lions. Ruiz at midfield. Getting around the Belhaven Blazers. A send down low for Vogel. Vogel cleared out by Zachary Mountain. A throw in by Grant, looking for Austin. Austin covered by Mountain. Mountain will clear it, and Mountain will clear that into the sideline. Grant with the throw in. He's looking for Knight, closed out by the Blazers. Knight on his knees. The Blazers getting, and Austin intercepts it. Austin with a shot on goal. Rudolph, it's on the ground, and Rudolph scoops it up. We have a Blazer on the ground, Rudolph on his knees. He'll get back up. Very physical play out there. And the Blazers faithful really trying to advocate for the protection of their goalie, Max Rudolph.
Quite a vocal bunch. And you know,
we love vocal fans,
the job of being a goalkeeper is one that's arguably the most dangerous as a soccer player, and it's just because you have to basically sacrifice your body to contest it with your hands, try to get yourself in front of a ball that could hurtle up to 60, 70 miles an hour. So it's not a job for the faint-hearted, but sometimes there's a bit too much aggressiveness with a player trying to keep the ball away from the goalie, and sometimes a cleat might connect to the body, and I think that's what happened here for Max Rudolph, but glad to see he's up and ready to keep going. Nothing too serious here.
Yeah, another Blazer helped off the field was Jake Estes, and an athletic trainer will look to check him out. We'll have a substitution in. We'll ID them in just a second. I believe it's number 6. And I would be correct with that. Number 6, Colin Cartwright. And I must say, though, you saw the aggressive play in front of the net. Rudolph bobbled the ball. So the ball was on the floor. And when the ball's on the turf, it's fair game.
You're absolutely right. And that's the gray area, if you will, between being too aggressive as an offensive player and wanting to protect the goalie. But at the end of the day, you really have full reign of whatever you want to do up until the goalie maintains possession of the ball. And there, I think the Lions were not in the wrong for being that aggressive. It's just unfortunate, the timing, if you will, between when the contact happened and when it was
very bang-bang.
The ball was in possession. Absolutely.
Lions looking to send it down to give up for Castro. Gets by. Lions still looking to chase it down. Rogers will bank it off of a Lion. And the Blazers regain possession in their own defensive zone. Here's the throw-in by the Blazers. Ball at midfield. Lions fighting for it, and they'll take it away. Ricardo Ruiz with a little physical play, able to get there. Knight for Al Swady. Al Swady goes off of a Blazer. And now we will see Matthew Farias sending it down. Mattis with the header. Al Swady in midfield. Al Swady able to crane around one Blazer. A gift from Mattis. Mattis leading it on for Vogel. And a great play there by Farias to head it out.
Almost a beautiful combination, but it looks to be an offsides call against Vogel, if I'm not mistaken. Had ref aware of what occurred, and I think that's exactly what happened. But nearly a insanely impressive outside of the foot over the top through ball by Mattis.
Rogers will send this down after the offsides call. That one going the full length, and Wood will scoop it up. He'll punt this down, and that one's going to go through midfield. Ball bounces into midfield. Farias being chased down by Vogel. He sends this one from midfield. Mattis is there. He's going to pop this one up. Seeing with the play. Very close to hitting his hands. Davis Knight, a gift to Austin. Austin leading it on for Vogel. Vogel with a burst of speed. He has a lane, Vogel, and it's cleared out by the Blazers, and we'll see a corner kick opportunity there. Maybe should have let that one go because Max Rudolph was right there with his hands looking to scoop it up.
Vogel's such a technically gifted player on the wings here today, and he cuts past one and then was met by a following defender. Something Belhaven has done so well is backing up whatever player is facing against a Lions attacker. But no time to breathe for the Blazers as another ball going to be sent in from the corner. Grant, I believe the one behind that, or Matt, the one behind that, he's had his noggin on a couple. And that time just soaring a little bit too high over the post.
How hard is it to control those headers?
It's extremely difficult, and it's mostly timing because, you want to hit it right on the front part of your forehead is the ideal situation because that limits any sort of concern of head injury, but timing it is everything. Like the power you can generate fairly easily. You just cock your head back and send it forward, and it's really figuring out how to keep your eyes on the ball and redirecting it by turning your head at the right time. So it's a super difficult thing to master, but once it's done correctly, it's such a scary situation. As a near goal, the shot fired by Wesley Bloodworth of the Blazers going to find itself a little bit wide, and that was an impressive transition by the Blazers.
Now's the best shot opportunity that we've seen by the Blazers this entire game. Keep an eye on Wesley Bloodworth. He's tied for second in points with 3 players, all of them with 3 goals. Wesley Bloodworth, Igor Rudolph, and Cortland Williams. All names to keep an eye out for. Ball's forced to the sideline. It appears it will stay with the Blazers. Farias with the throw-in for Belhaven. He'll keep it on the ground. It's popped up. Rogers. Lions. Bit of a Bermuda Triangle right now, shutting things down. Taken away by Mattis. Mattis getting by the defenders. Slightly tripped up, but he'll stay upright. He'll feed it to Wood. Wood back to Mattis. And now Mattis will take it up. Taken away by Rogers. Rogers. A little bit of a slide, and Mattis will fly in and clear it. Castro looking to chase it down in midfield. Blazers send it back, and they will retreat to Max Rudolph. Guns it for midfield. It's going to pop off a couple of heads, and we have a whistle here. So we have a Blazer going off the field rather gingerly.
Might just be a hamstring is what he seems to be grabbing at.
Might be a cramp of some kind, I'm not sure. Zachary Mouton is the player, so he'll step off, and we have a substitution come in for him in the meantime. So we look to ID that player as well. It looks like it's number 2, Kobe Roan. Bloodworth feeding that one inside. Roan intercepted by Mattis. Mattis trying to get it to midfield. Faria takes it up. Faria, the lead on for Bloodworth. Rogers pops over. Score! What a beautiful goal there by Lex Rogers. His 5th goal of the season. And he just finds a way to rainbow it over the top of Bobby Wood. And now it's just a perfectly placed kick.
Gorgeous combination by a multitude of Blazers there. Just 1-touch, 2-touch passes going all around the Lions defense. And eventually just threw to a one-on-one against Bobby Wood. And unfortunately, there's not much you can do in that situation, especially when the ball is bouncing, because then you have to worry about a flick over the top and one below. Bobby Wood guessed low, and they went over.
With that, Belhaven will score first. It's now 1-0. Here's a lead pass for Vogel. Vogel hitting the nitro, looking to chase it down and keep it in. He cannot. We'll see a goalie kick by Rudolph. You can see Faria with a couple of words there for Vogel. Probably just say, dude, you are so fast. My gosh. Here's a gift for Rogers. Rogers will send this one down. It'll go off of Knight. Great little catch there by the Belhaven coach. See a throw in. I believe it's Bloodworth on the sideline. Belhaven trying to communicate, gets set. Here's the throw in. Goes off of one Lion. It's kept in midfield. Sent down by Rogers. Knight looking to take that one up. Maybe causing a little bit of panic there by those Blazers defenders as they force it out of bounds.
Bit of an unruly touch by one of the defenders, but quick to recover was his counterpart, the other central defender. And that's something that the Blazers have done so well and just limited any really free, if you will, opportunities for the Lions just because they cover every defender to the best of their capabilities, and it's shut down a lot of offensive attacks for Piedmont thus far.
Blazers will throw it in. Pops out of bounds. Looks like James Cash will walk up to where our stat table is. Throw in for the Lions. Ball kept at midfield. Kind of in the middle of no man's land right now, and we have a whistle. Appears to be a foul called on the Lions. The Blazers will have a free kick opportunity here. 17:45 left here in the first half. Free kick on the way by Rogers. Really puts his foot through it. Grant will head it. Farias will keep it up for the Blazers. There's a give. Farias at midfield. Rudolph will step back to kick in. Davis Knight rushing in to try and get in front of it. Belhaven boots it down there. Delroy Mattis will head it up. Grant fighting for it. Austin at midfield. Taken up by Bloodworth. Lions have it. Mattis sending it from midfield for Ricardo Ruiz. Takes a strange bounce off the shin. Roger with a shot. Saved by Bobby Wood.
Gorgeous reaction by Bobby Wood there. The shot fired was no joke. An absolutely threatening ball and nearly Lex Rogers' second goal of the day. That one, though, gets the outstretched hands of the 6'4" goalie from the Lions.
Farias gets that one off of Vogel. Ball boy will get it to Farias. We'll see a throw-in opportunity here for Belhaven. As someone should really go fetch that ball, and it appears we have someone, a nice courteous fan, being kind enough to go do that for us. Thank you, sir. Bloodworth at midfield. Taken away. Physical play by Austin. We see a grab and we see a whistle. Austin with it. We'll see a free kick for the Lions. As the Lions bring their players into position. 15:52 left here in the first half. Austin with the kick on the way. Looking to set up a header. It's in front of the goal. It's kept alive. We have a whistle. Flag raised in the air. We have another Belhaven player, a little slow to get up. He appears to be okay as he'll step back onto the pitch.
It appeared to be some form of a foul call because when the AR lifts his flag and points it in a straight line, that's the signal for an offside. So it wasn't an offsides call, but potentially some over physicality by the Lions. I myself didn't really see what the cause of the foul was, but regardless, another opportunity gone awry for the Lions.
And this is kind of the threat that we see with this kind of physical brand of soccer that we were talking about earlier in the half, because you see the fouls, you see the just free giveaways, as we see another whistle there. The official will not reach into his pocket for a card. But we will see a warning given by the official for what appears to be Ricardo Ruiz. We have some substitutions set on the sideline, the next opportunity. Here's the free kick by Rogers. Wood is there for it. Bobby Wood to punt it down. Belhaven keeps it. Austin. And we have another whistle as it appears to have gone off of the hand of a Belhaven defender. It might have gone off of Roan. Lions with possession. Free kick on the way by Austin. 13.5 left here in the first half. 1-0 Belhaven leads here at the Walker Athletic Complex. Lions, if they get a win here today, they will take one heck of a jump. Right now, I believe they're second from the bottom in the CCS, ahead of only Hyndon. But if they were to take a win here today against the top team in the conference, Piedmont could jump all the way up to as far as 4th. Grant keeps it in midfield. Al-Swady hurdles a slide tackle there. Cash feeding it back for Austin. Austin forcing it up, looking for Castro. That'll be an offside call.
A little too early by Grant, who seems to have shifted forward. I'm not sure if he's actually still playing that central defensive role. Might still be the case, but he was all the way up there for the Lions on that offensive attack.
Delroy Maz, he's a very versatile defender, loves to fly up seemingly out of nowhere. Speaking of flying, Rudolph will put this one through. Kind of takes off like a fighter jet. Rogers, and there's a slide tackle there, taking out Lex Rogers. That'll be called a foul. Do we see a card? It appears not, but we will see a free kick for Belhaven. Actually, it'll be a corner kick, oddly enough.
Had it been a foul, it would have been a penalty kick, in the degree of difficulty to not only tackle and take down Lex Rogers, but also just keep the ball out and not threatening a follow-up shot was extremely impressive. And usually if that attack or slide tackle goes awry, it's a red card and a penalty, so great defensive play there.
The official giving some words of, I guess, caution or warning out there for the defenders. Here's the corner kick on the way. Off a couple of noggins. The last of them being Delroy Menace, and it looks like we'll see another corner kick for Belhaven, this time on the opposite side.
I believe the conversation before that first corner kick between the goal line was just making sure that the defender and the attacker are not too much in the way of the goalkeeper, Bobby Wood. It's always such a gray area to worry about because you can stand in front of him, but you can't obstruct his movement.
Corner kick on the way. Goes off the foot of a Blazer. Hits the top of the hill above the retaining wall. And this time it'll be a goalie kick from Sir Bobby Wood. And apparently I've decided to knight him in the middle of this broadcast. (1-0) the score. 10:18 left here in the first half. Wood's kick on the way. It's a give to Cash. Cash being closed out by some Blazers. Wood looking for Mattis. Mattis. A give. Lions trying to get out of their own defensive zone. Wood will fly in and he'll scoop it up. And that seemed to be the safest course of action. A drop kick. Sends this one to midfield. Whistle blown, and it looks like it'll be a foul called on the Blazers. Possession stays with the Lions. Ricky Ricardo Sorry. Ricky Ruiz. He's not a character from I Love Lucy. No. Austin will line up for the kick. An absolute wall of players in front of the goal. Lions players getting onside. Austin's kick on the way. Off of a Blazer. Knight pops it up. Rudolph will get there, and it actually didn't even need to touch it. Very bizarre spin. And now Rudolph will pick it up as Davis Knight goes to track it down. And that's just a good understanding of the rules by Davis Knight and how aggressive you can be. He's been the USA South Rookie of the Week for a large portion of this season. Mattis with a physical play to break that one up. Grant for Austin. Austin back to Mattis. Mattis, he'll look to send this one deep. Goes over the foot of one Blazer. Rudolph will scoop it up as it rolls all the way to his territory.
Philip Nowak, the one chasing that one down for the Lions, is a little bit too far behind as it looks to be Castro, the one subbed out for Philip Nowak.
Austin with a little heel kick to pop that one up. Also out there is
James Cooper.
I couldn't remember his first name. I knew his last name. Here's the feed up for the Blazers, and the Lions defense able to get another takeaway and clear it out. We'll see a throw-in for the Blazers. Score is still 1-0 with 7:40 left. Here's a throw-in by the Blazers. Off of the top of one head, in front of the goal. Lions defense is there to keep that one from getting through. Andre Grant. Crossfield pass off of a line, and he puts it in his own goal. Off of Delroy Mattis. And, well, that's just a case of unfortunate events. I'm not sure who you credit that goal to.
You credit it as an own goal. That's exactly what it'll go down on the score sheet. Delroy Mattis just seemed to have been tripped up a little bit with his feet, hit the back heel of his left foot, and rolled past Bobby Wood. And the unfortunate thing is the keeper can't use his hands there because it could be classified as a pass. So Bobby Wood unable to really react to that situation. And the last thing you want to see in the tail end of a first half is a simple mistake that leads to the doubling of their deficit.
Farias will throw it in for the Blazers. Now 2-0 Blazers lead. Whistle blown. Possession stays with the Lions. Cooper will look to throw it in.
A Patrick Mahomes type of throwing, if you will, by the defender of the Blazers, number 16, Matthew Farias.
Bloodworth able to get by Austin. Austin doesn't let him get away. Austin able to track him down. Cooper has it in midfield. Austin able to make a play as he's going to send this one for Nowak. All goes off of, couldn't tell if it was Nowak or the defender. Doesn't really matter as Max Rudolph is there to scoop it up. We've seen a fair set of challenging shots on both sides, and both goalies have seemed to perform well. Aside from the own goal, if you eliminate that possibility, this is technically still just a one-goal game.
Well, the thing is, this game has been so much more even than the scoreline interprets, just because both teams have had beautiful scoring opportunities, and it was really just the first goal for the Blazers. You legitimately tip your cap to them. It was a beautiful combination between a multitude of Blazers, and Bobby Wood was left on an island there, and a beautiful flick over the top resulted in the first goal. Nothing much you can do if you're the Lions defenders. And, well, for the second one, just as you said, an unfortunate set of circumstances as that one just goes in off the feet of Delroy Mattis. And the Lions are better than being down 0-2, and I think expect them to grab at least one more goal-scoring opportunity before the conclusion of this first half.
It's kept in by the Lions in midfield. They're making a big push. There's that offensive chance right now. Ruiz taken away at the last second by Roan. Lions with it. Cooper able to keep it along the Belhaven sidelines. Popped up for Asid. Asid keeps it in. Asid with a great opportunity. A shot on goal. Takes a hop off of a Belhaven defender. Really absorbed a lot of the velocity coming off of that kick.
One thing I'd like to see the Lions do just a little bit better between now and the start of the second half is move that ball with a little bit more intensity, a little bit more purpose, because right now it seems that a couple of times the Lions are losing possession just because they hold on to the ball a little bit too long with one individual player. They try and take on a couple of Blazers instead of finding the open man. So if the Lions can sharpen up the passing game a bit, move that ball with a little bit more pace, expect the defense of the Blazers to open up a little bit more.
Now we'll see a substitution come in for Belhaven. It'll be number 29. Give us a name.
Carl Copese, I believe, is the name. Not sure if I nailed the pronunciation, my friend, but I did all I could. Looks like it's Copias. Copias is the man who's just checked in.
Carl Copias comes in. Lions with possession, trying to get it in the offensive zone. They haven't relented yet. It's going to go off the shoulder of Cooper. Possession back with the Blazers. 2:45 left here in the first half. Score is still 2-0 off of a beautiful little rainbow over the top of Bobby Wood by Lex Rogers. And then an own goal off of the foot of Delroy Mattis. Here's a feed up for Grant. Led him too far. Farias will throw it in for Belhaven. Ruiz to send this one down, looking for Nowak. Philip Nowak. He's got it. Nowak looking to get by the defenders. He does. Banks it off a defender. It'll be a corner kick for the Lions.
Gorgeous jockeying by the Belhaven defense. That's number 5, Julian Carrera, who just did an amazing job staying in front of Nowak up until the rest of his teammates could make it back.
It appears Nowak will perform the corner kick on its way. Lions looking to run up. It's popped out. Vogel keeps it alive for the Lions. He's feeding that one back for Ruiz. Ruiz looking for Cooper. Can Vogel slide to keep it in? No, he can't. I think Nowak, he really just couldn't quite get a hold of that pass. A little too hot there. Vogel able to take it in himself. Vogel, a give to Nowak. Nowak, off a defender. Belhaven trying to go out of their own defensive zone. It's kept alive by the Lions. Cooper will clash knees with a Belhaven defender while performing the kick. Do we get a whistle? It appears we do. It'll be called a foul. And it appears Cooper's a little slow to get up, but I think he'll be okay. He's reaching for a place. It's a bit uncomfortable if you're a man. Now we'll go off a Belhaven defender, and now it'll be a corner kick. James Cash appears to be okay. Here's the corner kick on the way. Now it ends up sailing over the top, and I think the defender by Belhaven hopping in front of him definitely probably threw him off. 5 seconds left, and it looks like Rudolph will just hold on to this. And the Belhaven Blazers will take a 2-0 score to halftime. And we hear the elation from the Blazers faithful. Matt Kudrowski and Simon Johnstone from the Walker Athletic Complex. A 2-0 score at halftime. Simon, what are your thoughts concerning that first half of play?
Well, the Lions played well overall. A little slip up with the own goal by Delroy Mattis, and that first goal, like I said earlier, it was just a tip of the cap to the Belhaven Blazers offense because they combined so well and were able to just generate such fantastic passes, and a combination of players opened up a beautiful one-on-one with Bobby Wood. And the Lions themselves have found themselves a couple of chances, but what is the biggest takeaway for me heading into the second half is the Lions are trailing 2-0. And the reason that is such a big takeaway is because, like we mentioned earlier, this Belhaven Blazers defense is arguably one of the top of the conference, if not the best, because they've only allowed 9 goals in, let's do the math here, 14 matches. So an insanely concerning ratio with a Lions offense that needs to find the back of the net at least twice to come away with a draw minimum. So this second half is going to be interesting for the Lions just because they're going to have to figure out how aggressive they're going to want to be in terms of attacking the Belhaven Blazers defense. And Jimmy Stevens, the head coach of the Lions, has a lot to think about heading into the next 45.
The Lions, they have only been shut out in 4 games this entire season. At home, they have been shut out in only 2 of those losses. So, the Lions, a very high-powered offense, and if anybody can prevail to avoid the shutout, I am sure that the Lions can be the team to do it, to give the Blazers their 10th goal allowed this entire season. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll bring you second half action from the Walker Athletic Complex. You're listening to Piedmont University Athletics on YouTube. Welcome back to Piedmont University Athletics on YouTube. Matt Godrowski and Simon Johnstone bringing you the action from the Walker Athletic Complex, where it's the season, or at least the regular season finale, for the Piedmont Lions hosting the number one team in the conference, Belhaven. Simon, it's been a heck of a first half. We saw a goal by Cortland Williams that came from, I believe, if I can get this correct, Wesley Bloodworth with the assist. And then we saw an own goal that went off the foot of Delroy Mass. That's been the only scoring action we've seen out there on the pitch. And now the Lions get a chance to start things off. But they've had quite a few opportunities against a team that's only allowed 9 goals over the course of 14 games.
You're absolutely right. The defensive structure of Belhaven is obviously something that they have had as their strength throughout the entirety of this regular season. And the Lions, although only 3 shots on the actual stat sheet, a lot more chances created than that, and they're probably 1 or 2 passes away from really setting themselves up for a golden opportunity. This match is closer than the score line tells you, and that's just because a little slip up, as you mentioned, with the own goal, and the other goal was just a beautiful combination by a trio of Belhaven attackers, which eventually resulted in a shot by Williams going to the back of the net. So the Lions don't have to change too much. I personally would like to see them combine a little bit quicker, do a little bit more direct passes, then look to slot one in behind with the speed of Vogel on the right wing. And, you know, the Lions are there, but Belhaven, a team that can also score a couple goals, is once again, they're nearly on the attack. That ball seemed to have rolled out of the sidelines, so nothing too scary for the Lions to deal with. But speaking of the Lions, a couple of new faces out on the pitch.
Josiah Tillett and Christopher Boleyn, the man from Switzerland. That's a big plus. Also out there is Davis Knight, Delroy Mattis, Jason Ossing, Bobby Wood, of course, at goal. Colin Vogel, Brady Puckett out there, as well as Christy Piscaru, Andre Grant, and Nico Eberhardt. So a lot of new faces out there. And coach for the Lions, bringing out an entirely new artillery out there, and might be going with a whole new game plan here for half number 2. Grant able to strip that one away. So that one goes along the sideline, and it appears it carried out. And Lions couldn't get to it. It'll be a throw-in for the Blazers.
And speaking of a new game plan, Davis Knight going to drop into the central attacking role. We know he's such a threat scoring the ball, but he's also a fantastic passer as well. Someone who he combined with many of the forwards, and look for him to give the ball up top and then swing in behind, as that header by Mattis going to clear to the right side of the field and eventually result in a corner kick.
Corner kick for Belhaven, down low. That kick is going to be coming from, if I can get any kind of vantage point, I cannot, or at least without getting in front of the camera. I don't think that the folks back home want to see the top of my head, or at least the back of it. Kobe Roan on the corner kick. Goes off the top of the crossbar. Bobby Wood will, well, actually just get it off the Delroy Mattis. Wood getting it down to Boleyn. Boleyn sending it, sending it all the way to midfield. Belhaven in midfield now. Boleyn's got it. He's going to feed this one back for Wood. Bobby Wood to Delroy Mattis. Mattis. A nice little juke around one player, and he's going to feed it up for Nico Eberhardt. Here's a quick feed up and a whistle. As Max Rudolph is there to dive on that one. Is a great lead on. The lead was looking for Piscaru.
Run started just a little too early there. Unfortunate to not potentially get a shot off on goal, but great service in by Eberhardt, someone who's got a beautiful left foot. He's hanging out on the left back roll here for the second half.
Bloodworth closed out by Grant. Grant manages to take it away. Bloodworth will manage to recover. A nice little heel kick pass for Roan. Lions defense holding strong. Wood will let it go. And now Wood going to roll it out for Boleyn. Christopher Boleyn to Andre Grant. Grant, a little bit of a body there. Lions managed to keep it alive. Mattis carrying it into midfield. Mattis. A pass for Tillett. Tillett leading that one up. A burst of speed there. Shot! Super close. We do have a whistle. What did you see there, Simon?
Appeared to have been an offsides. There's a gorgeous run down the left wing by Tillett. Just unfortunately unable to sync up the run. The leave by Puckett was really what opened up the opportunity because he left the last defender dumbfounded going, oh, I thought you were going to touch it. And instead Tillett made a run in behind. The defender didn't even see him. Just a little too early from the contact of the pass. So he's going to be called offside, but he did slot that one away. So Lions have the finishing down. It's just getting that final opportunity on sides.
I think it was Brady Puckett who was steamrolling in for that opportunity there. Lions along the sideline. Going to feed it back. They keep it in, and we have a whistle. I believe it was carried out of bounds. There'll be a throw-in. Actually, it'll be a free kick for the Lions. Piedmont, they've been incredibly high scoring, 45 goals scored this entire season. They'll look to try not to end the regular season with a shutout. Kick on the way. Very high rising, gets to the front of the net. Rudolph able to force it out. Roan leading it on. Oh my goodness. Nico Eberhardt able to clear it and took a shot to the side of the head. No whistle. Roan a little over ambitious on how far he could go with a throw-in. He's forced back, and now the Lions managed to force it out. Boleyn off of the noggin of Roan. Knight. He was looking for Austin. That one gets through to Bobby Wood. Wood will scoop it up. Wood gonna punt this one down. That one goes a good ways. Looking for Brady Puckett. It's popped up. Vogel able to head it back. Looking for Andre Grant. Grant regrouping in the defensive zone. A feed for Mattis. Mattis at midfield. Looking to skirt around a defender. He's going to feed it back to Wood, and we have... I thought I heard a whistle. It might have been my ears deceiving me. Play continues at midfield. Knight keeping it in. Knight sending it down now for Puckett. Puckett is going to head it. And Farias will keep it in. How about Davis Knight making a play there? Lions in the offensive zone now. It's going to bank off of a Belhaven defender. Does not go out of bounds. This one going for the front of the goal. Puckett keeps it alive. Vogel able to bounce it, or at least doink it off of one or more Belhaven defenders. Belhaven able to keep it in. Tillett will get it to Grant. Andre Grant with a very large space between him and the goal. Goes to Fiat. Mattis, a deep kick. That'll go off the side of the head of one Blazer as it goes onto the big sloping hill behind the goal.
Right now, if I'm Jimmy Stevens, head coach of the Lions, I would 100% just tell my team, look, try to open up the defense from the outside in, and that's because the Blazers are doing a great job of shrinking the structure of the field and making it feel like there's no end line as if it's 20 yards closer to the field. So utilize your wingers like Vogel to try and cut inside as corner serviced in, going to eventually find the feet of Mattis, which is going to swing wide. So if the Lions can actually iron out the outside presence and cut inside with a corner ball or maybe just a final pass to their striker, that's where I think they can harbor a couple goals.
Well, Allen was looking for Delroy Mattis, and Mattis couldn't quite get the contact of the kick that he really wanted, and it seemed to roll over the toes of Farias, who tried to stick a leg out there to keep it alive. And now we'll see another corner kick on the way for the Lions. A chance to cut the deficit to 1. Kept alive. Shot. Popped in the air. Belhaven looks to clear, and it looks like they do. Eberhardt forces it back in from midfield. Vogel now at midfield. Trying to get by Bloodworth. He's going to feed this one to Bobby Wood. Wood going to send this one down deep. Davis Knight going to fight for it. Knight is taken down. That will be called on Belhaven for grabbing Davis Knight. Possession goes back to the Lions at midfield. Free kick on the way for the Lions. It's on the way. Popped up. Still hasn't really settled anywhere. It's going to go off of... Goes off of a Lions player, and Bloodworth lets it go out. It'll be a throw-in for Belhaven. Roan. It's popped up. Vogel is there. Vogel able to weave in. Vogel with an offensive opportunity. Vogel with the shot. Wide right. Colin Vogel looking to try and get the Lions on the scoreboard all by himself.
Exactly what we wanted to see. The beautiful cut inside, just a little bit too wide. A lot of green jerseys were on the 18-yard line, so little difficult to find a seam to get the shot on target, but a sign of life here in the early going of the second half.
Belhaven now pushing into their offensive zone. Andre Grant with the takeaway. He's being covered by Bloodworth. He's going to not blanket, but bank it off of Bloodworth. Will be a throw-in for the Lions. Andre Grant looking for Vogel. He's going to pop it up. They'll touch down the line. Roan will throw it in for the Blazers. Belhaven still leading 2-0. Throw is on the way. Bloodworth heads it. Knight will clear it. Vogel tries to track it down, but that's well outside of the boundaries of play. This will be a throw-in for Julian Carrera. Bloodworth, covered by Grant and Boleyn, will be carried out and stays with Belhaven. Roan, waiting for the Blazers to get set here. Throw in on the way. Kept alive by the Blazers. Roan with a hooking kick. Obtained by Woods. He sends this one deep. Blazers. Now the Lions looking to make a push. Knight looking for Vogel. Vogel trying to track it down. Took a wonky bounce off of his left foot. Careens out of bounds. And now Belhaven looking to push back. Here's the throw-in for Belhaven. Carrera throwing it in. And this time it's a look for, I believe that was Lex Rogers. Actually, it was Cortland Williams. My mistake. Mattis trying to make a play for it. We see a tumble by a Blazers player. Shot by Williams. Yeah, great save there by Bobby Wood. I think that tip off of the head by the Lions defender gave Wood enough time to get over for it.
Yeah, good flick up to give Wood time to shift over, and beautiful shot by Cortland Williams looking to grab his second of the afternoon, but Bobby Wood said, not today, we're keeping it at 2-0.
A corner kick opportunity now for Belhaven. On the way. Wood rises up and comes down with it like an NFL tight end. He's going to send this one deep for Puckett. Goes off of a Blazers defender. Farias will look to scoop it up in midfield. Farias. There's a burst of speed by the Blazers. Now it's just going to be forced out by Belen. It'll be a corner kick opportunity, but that could have been a lot worse. And I think a corner kick was definitely the better of the possibilities. .30.5 minutes left in regulation. Belhaven leads 2-0, and number 2, Kobe Roan, will look to send the corner kick on its way. Belhaven set up for a run-in. Kick is on the way. Lil hook back to the left. Belhaven keeps it alive. This one, looking for a header for Carrera. And now goes off Bloodworth. They had a great play by the defenders to keep it alive. The ball's still not out. Lions clear it. What a great defensive stand by Piedmont to keep that one out and keep the score at 2-0. Belen gets back up from the turf, and the Lions find Vogel. A give to Knight now at midfield. Lions, a great chance here. Vogel craning back to the middle. Looks for the feed. It's going to pop. Kept alive, and now Rudolph will finally scoop that one up. But what a change of possession going coast to coast.
Well, that first shot by one of the Blazers actually beat Bobby Woods, so there was just the noggin of one of the last-ditch defensive efforts by the Lions to keep that one from going into the back of the net. Fantastic recovery by the Lions, and then as we talked about in the pregame, their pace up top, they flew down that field and nearly were able to turn what would have been a 3-0 deficit to a 1-2 game. So keep an eye out for the Lions as this ball going to be flicked down once again for the Blazers. This time, Cortland Williams on it again. Bobby Wood with great hands blocks that one, but finds the feet of the Blazers once again.
Another shot. That one goes off of Wood and off the post. And the Lions look to clear it, and it's a throw-in. It's not a corner kick, it's a throw-in. It goes on the right side of the flag. It'll be a throw-in, and Bobby Wood. A ferocious battle cry there, and he's looking for some help from his defense. Throw-in on the way by Roan. Lions will clear. Davis Knight has it. Looking to take it out. Roan looking to track it down. Roan, it goes off of his feet over on the sideline, and Davis Knight is there to finally send it out. Possession goes back with the Blazers.
And Bobby Wood just pleading his case because it looked like Jacob Rakelman actually had the most open shot of the afternoon, setting up right outside the 18-yard box, and no line was near enough to close. And Bobby Wood's like, guys, I just saved a ball. Do I have to really do it back-to-back times? And the answer was yes, but he is such a defensive presence. The 6'4" goalie, once again, coming up big time for the Lions as Vogel sends one into the outside run of Grant. Going to bounce off of the left back of the Belhaven Blazer defense, and it's going to be a corner kick for the Lions.
Lions, they've set up a remarkable amount of corner kicks over the course of this game. Still just really nothing to show for it so far. So far, we've seen 6 corners for the Blazers and 5 for the Lions. It's felt like a lot more than that, though. Vogel able to keep it up. Lions keep things going. Header, very close, kept alive. Rudolph tried to chase it down, and the Lions were there. And now we have a whistle. Rudolph interfering with the Lions, it seems like.
Penalty kick granted to the Lions. Looks like Rudolph went a little bit too far behind and actually takes down Brady Puckett, the striker right now for the Lions. So penalty kick granted, the exact thing the Lions have needed to get themselves back into this game. Could potentially half the deficit here. Looks like Jacob Alcine, the man, going to take it from the spot. Just him and Rudolph facing off.
Alcine has already scored at least 1 goal in this manner prior here at the Walker Athletic Complex. I can't remember who the opponent was, but I can remember it was, in fact, a goal. Alcine and Rudolph. Rudolph to avoid double-digit goals allowed for Belhaven. Kick is on the way. He scores! Jason Alcine. He went Rudolph went exactly where that kick was going, where it was just outside the reach, and Jason Alcine give some life back to this Lions team. It's 2-1.
Well, we know how good Austin is with his passing. One of the guys, probably one of the more accurate players on the overall Piedmont Lions roster, and that time just able to slot it in the bottom right corner. That's goal number 4 on the season for Jacob Austin. Fantastic job. Great composure, and the Lions find themselves right back into this matchup.
Lions trail by 1. Eberhardt will look to track this one down in the corner. He's taken down. No whistle. Ball does not go past the back line. Belhaven will hold on to it. Taken away by Davis Knight. Davis Knight over on the Lions' defensive side, feeding that one up for, I believe it's Austin. Here's the feed, looking for Vogel. Vogel looking to chase it down in the corner. Vogel can't get there. Turned over to the Blazers. Carrera looks to throw it in, perhaps, or will he pass it on? He'll throw it in. Here it comes. Vogel will tip it up. Austin looking to track it down. Tillett now. A gift to Grant. Lions technically in midfield right now. Boleyn feeds it up. Might have gone off the foot of a Blazer. It did not. But it did affect the way Boleyn kicked that ball. Blazers with the throw. Can't tell if it went off of Josiah Tillett or not. It might have gone off of Tillett, and it appears that that is the ruling, as we'll see another throw-in as that ball bounces off of the dugout for the Piedmont softball team. We don't get started till next semester. Carrera with the throw-in. Blazers looking to get set. It's Bloodworth. A gift to Roan. Blazers now. Taken away by Delroy Mass. Mass is tripped up. No whistle. Blazers taken away again, this time by Austin. Austin sends this one to midfield. Vogel will track it down. Keeps the push alive for the Lions. Here's a through pass looking for a Lions defender. There's the game in front of the goal. Lions score. We're tied up at 2. 2 goals over the course of just a few minutes. We're tied up at 2. And here's that Lions offense coming alive.
47 goals on the season. Once again, a beautiful combination by 2 substitutes. Just a beautiful adjustment between the first and second half. Jimmy Stevens sending in 2 players who connect. Of course, on the back end of that shot was Brady Puckett, serviced on in by Christy Pescaru. Just a beautiful ball inside, and Puckett really just had to put it towards the goal because there was so much momentum already carried in by the cross. And next thing you know, a slow day at the office for the Lions in the first half has generated into the just floodgates being opened for the Lions.
Lions coming back here to even things up at 2 goals apiece. 24 minutes, well, over 24 minutes left here in regulation. This could get interesting, folks. Brady Puckett, his 6th goal of the season, the assist by Pescaru. Rudolph is there to scoop it up. 9 goals given up by Belhaven this entire season coming into this game. Now it's 11. Blazers will throw it in. Actually, it looks like we have a substitution coming in. It'll be Farias coming in as Rekielman will come out. Tillett will clear it. It's popped up. Knight leading it ahead for Vogel. Vogel trying to make a play. Rudolph is there after Carrera able to head it right to him. Rudolph will punt this all the way to the Lions' defensive zone. Austin able to send this one deep, looking for Vogel. Off the noggin of Carrera. Lions look to try and take it away. Big body play there. That one's going to be called on Austin. And a yellow card for Jason Austin.
I'm going to have to disagree with the booking idea there, just because I understand there was some contact. It didn't look like anything malicious that would result in a carding, yet the referee more than eager to reach into his back pocket and signal one to Asin. And it looks like the Lions have completely shifted their offensive strategy. It's a lot more deep, threatening balls. They're going to go over the top. Speaking of over the top, Belhaven Blazers service at the midfield line, going to go over the heads of everyone for a goal kick. But as you saw in the last 5 minutes, Matt, a lot of just deep, not punts, but just launches, boots, where we're trying to get over the back line of the Blazers, utilize the speed up top, and eventually slip in behind for a third goal.
You mentioned we've talked about the physical play all day. There's another example right there with a little bit of a rub out there, and there's another whistle. And that seemed more warrantable of a yellow card than the one that was called on Asin, arguably. Now Asin, he's another yellow card away from being ejected. Only yellow card we've seen this entire time. It's the only time we've seen the official reaching into his pocket for his deck of cards. Free kick on the way. Popped up. Davis looking to try and get there. That's a whistle. Davis Knight was going for that ball. Takes out Igor Rudolph in the process. And you can hear the outrage from the Piedmont faithful. There'll be another free kick, and this one seems to be coming off the boot of Farias. Matthew Farias, kick is on the way. We got the human wall of a couple of players in front. Here's a little rainbow over the top, tipped up, and that one is wide of the goal. Do you think the aggressiveness is starting to kind of hurt things a little bit for the Lions? I mean, we saw the yellow card, and we've seen back-to-back fouls that gave the Blazers a really great chance offensively.
I wouldn't say so just yet, just because we know how good of a defensive back line the Lions have. And, you know, if they utilize their physicality legally and they don't get called for anything, then they're able to generate some offensive opportunities. That's how they scored that goal with Puckett up top, is because they won a 50-50 on the left side of the field and were able to send one in with defenders needing to scramble. So I don't mind the physicality. I don't think it needs to drop off just yet. I would say the only time you have to go, okay, let's calm it down a little bit, is when the ref starts handing out a few cards. Yes, we saw Seeing get booked, but other than that, I mean, there was one verbal warning we saw on Ricardo Ruiz, but other than that, I think the Lions are playing at the perfect level of physicality. Now, I don't know if the ref's patience is running thin because of that booking, and he seems to be a little bit more eager to pull out the whistle. But as of right now, I think the Lions are exactly as physical as they need to be against this team.
Andre Grant looking to chase this one down, keep it away from the Blazers. They let it go. Lions have possession. Grant's throw on the way, looking for Knight. Knight's going to head it back, looking for Vogel. Vogel's got it at midfield. Vogel trying to get around. It's cleared out. Kept alive by Josiah Tillett as he looks to clear that one over to find Knight over in the offensive zone. It goes out of bounds. Blazers will throw it in. Throw on the way. Andre Grant doinks it off his head. Back into the softball dugout.
I'm a big fan of moving Davis Knight to the central midfielder role, because we not only know how good he is at facilitating the offense, but his speed, he can join the attack so quick and just be able to add basically 3 strikers to their strike force here in the second half.
Belhaven, a shot, saved by Wood. Grant will let that one go, and it'll be a throw-in by Kobe Roan. Score is still tied, 2 goals apiece, 19 minutes left here in the second half. Mattis off his head. Roan finds a way to pop it over the top of Mattis. It's taken away by the Lions. Mattis gets it off of Roan. It'll go out. Mattis will throw it in here. Delroy Mattis looking for Knight. Knight popped up by the Blazers. There'll be a throw-in for the Lions, and Andre Grant will step in to perform his duty again. Grant feeding it up. It's intercepted by the Blazers. Pushing back the other way. There's a feed up front. Mattis with the takeaway. Farias keeps it alive for the Blazers, though. Mattis looking to track him down. Bit of a skirmish, and Farias manages to come out of it. Farias gets around Davis Knight. Davis Knight able to close out that one. Knight will send this one now for Vogel. Vogel's able to make a play there. Grant for Knight. Knight pushing up with it to Austin. Austin gets it through midfield. He's leaning on for Vogel, and we'll just see it clear out there by Carreras. Bloodworth now in midfield for the Blazers. Grant will intercept it. It goes off the face of Josiah Tillett, but he appears to be okay. Andre Grant has it at midfield. He's pushing up with it. Andre Grant off of Carrera. And that one goes out of bounds. There'll be another throw-in opportunity for the Lions. Grant set to throw it in. It's on the way, looking for Knight. Knight able to find space. He's going to send that one and manages to hook back all the way to Max Rudolph in goal. Rudolph will hop up, catch it, and he'll look to send this one deep now.
A near muffed punt nearly gave Castro, the green light to just turn around and fire one right back at him, but split the legs of Castro, unfortunately. So, just a lucky break there for Rudolph.
16 and a half minutes, actually 16:15 left here in the second half. Score is still tied at 2 apiece. Belhaven scoring the first 2 in the first half, and the Lions scoring 2 over the course of just a few minutes to even it up early in the second half. I was talking to the Belhaven faithful, and they talked about how eager they are to hope that the conference tournament can run through Belhaven. They need either a win or a tie for that hope to become a reality. Piedmont taken down, flag up in the air. No card issued, just a regular foul.
Yeah, tackle from behind solemnly doesn't get a card. I don't know if the ref believes that the Blazer got enough ball for it to not warrant a card, but Eberhardt went down with some force, so slightly surprised the ref didn't come on over there with a bright yellow rectangle.
Little bit there. Mattis with the throw-in. Look for Austin. It's popped up in the air. Belhaven will clear it. Now, if you're the Lions, are you going to keep the aggressive offensive mentality going, or do you just try to stay passive?
You have to up the intensity, and by up it, I mean maintain what they've been doing, because trying to be consistent, trying to maintain possession is going to just warrant a slip-up. And when you're playing a team as fast break and a beautiful tackle by Mattis is going to give them another shutdown. Mattis with 2 incredible slide tackles to shut down what would have been nearly guaranteed goals for the Blazers. I love the no call there as Mattis got all ball and was able to swing around to tackle out in front.
And it looks like Ewan Alcina. It's a little slow to get up. He's walking a little bit gingerly. It appears that he'll just walk it off. Do you think that was a clean slide tackle? It seemed pretty close.
Absolutely. There was a bit of contact between, the 2 legs, and traditionally the cleanest way to do a tackle is to just get all ball and have the other player basically trip over the stoppage of the ball, as that is the antonym of that. Colin Vogel going to take down, I believe that was Ricardo Flores, and Vogel going to be met with a yellow card.
Colin Vogel. It appeared that Vogel was going for the ball and ended up catching the legs of a Blazers defender. I don't know if I agree with that being a yellow card.
I 100% do. He definitely got way too much body in that situation, and Vogel going to essentially hand a yellow card back to the ref as a little fun interaction between the referee and Vogel occurs there.
The official dropped it, and I think Vogel decided to have a little fun with issuing the official himself a yellow card. But I don't know if I'd be making jokes like that at this stage of the game. Farias, feeding it down low. There's a shot that is scooped up by Wood. Wood will send this one deep. Castro and Vogel are there. It'll ricochet. Lions, can they keep it alive? Yes, they can. Belhaven will clear it out, though. This one gets all the way to midfield. Lions trying to hang on to it. It's kept alive. No whistle yet. Almost a takeaway there. And now Bloodworth. An offensive opportunity here for Belhaven. And we see a player hit the deck, and oddly enough, no whistle there either. This one will roll past the back line. It'll be a corner kick opportunity for Belhaven. Do you think that there should have been a whistle there?
I don't know. I was not able to tell exactly what occurred. My vantage point is slightly obstructed in my lovely commentating booth with Matt Kudrowski. We do our best to see everything.
Corner kick on the way. It's tied up at 2-2. Farias, shot on goal over the top. That was a pretty good chance by Matthew Farias. He just missed the crossbar by about 1.5 feet. And now Bobby Wood will look to send this one deep. Wood goes yard. 12 minutes left in the second half. Still anyone's game. Here's the lead up. You see a takedown, still up on their feet. Tillett for Ossine. Ossine keeps it alive. Belhaven will clear it there at midfield. Right now it's Bloodworth. He's going to lead this one on. Wood's going to call off the cavalry. He'll send this deep himself. Castro is there. It's led on ahead. Lions player looking to chase it down. Here's the setup. It's going to be kept alive by Davis Knight. Knight has it. Here's the feed ahead. It's popped up. Andre Grant looking to keep it alive. This one goes out over by the Piedmont faithful. Grant will look to throw it in. Whistle blown. I think the Lions might have gotten a little too anxious. Actually, we got a little too over anxious, a little too fast paced, and we need to have the substitutions come in. So a couple of substitutions coming in for the Lions.
James Cash looks to be checking in for Danny Castro.
Interesting call there, and it looks like one of the other Lions players out there.
And Matt, I believe the intention to bring in James Cash was actually to move up Mattis to the striker role. You can see him all the way up there so that they can actually add a bit more speed, add a bit more offensive threat. As we know, quick Mattis is up top.
Also, another player who subbed in is Boris Bosic. He's out there. Lions, the offensive opportunity, looking to keep it alive. Bosic looking to keep it alive and chase it down. Bosic is tied up. Whistle blown. It's called on Bosic, but Bosic seemed to be grabbed by the arm there. I can't say I agree with that call, and neither do the Piedmont faithful.
The initial interaction was definitely kick-started by number 14, Christian Yaniel Hernandez, but it was Bosic that did eventually throw him to the ground. So I believe the head referee's initial interpretation of what happened was there was too much of a reaction or repercussion, rather, by Bosick to result in him getting the foul call. But, yeah, the initial point of contact was definitely started and initiated by the Blazers.
I think I realized that I have been referring to Yaniel Hernandez as Farias for an extensive period of time. I apologize, Belhaven faithful. Lions with a free kick opportunity here. We've seen quite a few calls go Belhaven's way here in the second half, but oddly enough, nothing has seemed to result for them.
No calls in the box, which I think is where the concern would be, but Mattis just has done a fantastic job as ball sent in by Pescaru, not going to give them a goal-scoring opportunity just there. Blazers on the counter, but the Lions are picking and choosing their battles of when to be quote-unquote overly physical, and a lot of the time it is around the midfield mark, so it's all right for them to get called just because, a dead ball at the midfield line usually isn't too threatening of a position.
Wood will send this one deep. Goes off the top of the noggins of a couple of defenders. Seeing will head this one forward. Yaniel Hernandez. Might have forced that one out. Graham will throw it in for Austin. Austin, kick on the way! And Rudolph is there to pick it up off of the bounce.
And Matt, you're asking about whether or not the Lions should be aggressive, and head coach Jimmy Stevens for the Lions definitely wants to keep it aggressive because he moved Davis Knight initially to the wing. Now he's back to the central area. You have Mattis up top. You have Vogel on the wing and Pescaro on the other wing. So a lot of pace and a lot of versatility in the front three plus Davis Knight. So just a lot of different options for the Lions as Mattis now on a run is going to take down the last defender for Belhaven, who's slow to get up, but Mattis is trying to win the 50-50, who got separated between the ball and himself.
And oddly enough, that seemed to have been what happened with Boris Bosic, and it seemed the call went the other way. So we have an athletic trainer looking to check on the Belhaven defender. He's a little bit slow to get up. He might have just had the wind knocked out of him, it appears. He'll get up on his own strength. It appears the wind was just knocked out of him. And now seems like a good time for a water break for some of the players out there on the turf as it warms up here at the Walker Athletic Complex. And the temperature for the field just 10 degrees warmer than it really is here.
Well, turf always increases the heat. Those black pellets in the turf just absorbs heat so fast. So it's kind of like you're playing on a hot plate, if you will. But the Lions well-conditioned and luckily wearing those white jerseys, so the heat doesn't exactly absorb to their bodies too quickly.
Bobby Wood scoops it up. He's looking to send this one deep, and he does. Vogel will pop it up. Grant trying to track it down. Belhaven as well. And it looked like Ricardo Flores tried to keep that one going for Belhaven, was not able to. Tried to get creative, but was all for naught. Now we'll see Josiah Tillett be subbed out as Muhammad Al-Swady will come in. Now we're starting to see that original starting 11 coming to start to filter in. We see another substitution on the side of Belhaven. It'll be for Belhaven, number 39, Rabbi Capito.
Mattis looking for Vogel down the right wing. Not sure if he's going to get it. Worst case scenario was a deflection. So we're going to see a corner kick for the Lions.
Corner kick for the Lions. Under 6 minutes left to go. Still a tie game at 2 goals apiece. Lions looking to improve their conference standings late. Corner kick on the way. It's tipped up. Belhaven looking to clear it out, and Yaniel Hernandez does it. Eberhardt is there. He's going to force this one back into the offensive side. Mattis is there. Here's a shot. Goes over the top of the goal. And it'll just sit at the very top of the retaining wall.
I don't mind Mattis pulling the trigger there just because realistically Rudolph hasn't been tested. When he has, well, it's been one goal. Of course, the penalty kick I'm not going to choose as the greatest live ball opportunity, but the puck tap in was definitely something where Rudolph was caught in no man's land. So just keep firing away, I believe, is the message that the Lions are trying to send right now to the Blazers.
Bloodworth is intercepted by the Lions. That one goes off the back of the head of a Blazer. Man, just to stay with them. So unfortunate for the Belhaven player that took the shot to the back of the head, but I guess you take your lumps for your team when you need to. Lions with possession. Give to Eberhardt. Eberhardt forcing it down. He'll go over to the Piedmont bench. Whistle's coming in. Throw in on the way for Belhaven. Bloodworth has it along the Belhaven bench. It's cleared out by Piedmont. This one's popped up now. Now it's forced ahead. Flores. Sending this one ahead to Igor Rudolph. And Capito from the corner. Alsuadi's there to clear it out. Carrera will force it back in, and that will go well out of bounds. Clock is running, under 30 and a half left. Andre Grant will throw it in. He's looking for Vogel. Vogel knocks it to the side. Belhaven trying to communicate who's supposed to get it. And in the miscommunication, the Lions come up with it. A lead up for Mattis. Mattis trying to track it down. He gets there. Mattis with the kick. Goes cross field. It's kept alive by the Blazers. And the Lions keeping things in the offensive zone. Still on their feet. Forcing it back to the middle. Max Rudolph will come in and get to it.
Beautiful counterattack generated by the Lions. They recognize that the Blazers were just a bit of miscommunication there. Vogel sent one in, just a little too heavy for Mattis to get himself really controlled on the right wing, and the service a little too long. And then Eberhardt nearly just did the same thing, got it back, won a couple 50-50s on the left side, and looked to send one over. As speaking of sending one over, Mattis got a ball through, slips it past through Rudolph.
Lions a 3-2 lead with 2:20 left. And the Lions may steal one against Belhaven late in the second half. 3 unanswered goals. And I think the Belhaven faithful are questioning whether or not there was an offside there, but I think Mattis might have just found a way to get ahead there, able to leak it past Rudolph. Rudolph has only given up 9 goals this season. He gives up 3 here in the second half, and the Lions looking to escape the season finale with a 3-2 late victory with 2:20 left.
The level of intensity that they have risen to for the Lions has just been absolutely beautiful. They've been going all out, and it looks now that Jimmy Stevens seems to be creating more of a defensive shift. They have the lead. They did exactly what they wanted to in the second half. Grab a couple of good goals off some beautiful runs inside, and now the Lions sinking extremely deep. 10 men short of the 18-yard box here, not wanting to give up a cheap goal.
Blazers looking to put all the chips in at the table. Goes off the post, off the header. Wood will just fall on it. Great offensive opportunity there. 1:45 left. Belhaven. I will not be surprised if we see some hyper-aggressiveness from the Blazers here. They need a win or a tie to clinch the conference. This one's led ahead. Looking for Capito. Capito. Slide tackle comes in and rolls through. It'll be a corner kick opportunity late for the Blazers. They're rushing to it now as we approach the final 60 seconds.
10 Blazers going to be making a run towards this corner kick, and Lions 10 men inside, so 20 men plus the goalie inside of this 18-yard box.
Kick on the way. It's popped up. 1 minute left. Belhaven tries to keep their hopes alive. Knight will clear it. Vogel will look to track it down. Flores tries to keep it alive. Vogel takes it away, sends it to the other side of the field. Vogel still has it. Vogel, take it down. No whistle. Al Swady now. He's slide tackled. A whistle. No. Belhaven forcing it down as we approach the final 30 seconds. Knight will clear it out in midfield. That one sent deep. Final 30 seconds underway. Belhaven in a little bit of a rush. Can they get it? Here's the throw-in. Wood looks to scoop it up, and he does. 15 seconds. Bobby Wood will look to hold on to this one. It looks like the Lions will escape with a late goal. 10 seconds. Bobby sends it down, and the Lions will win this against the top team in the CCS. Piedmont with the upset here at the Walker Athletic Complex today. Unbelievable finish. Simon Johnstone, do you believe in miracles? Silence. You're at a loss for words.
What else is there to say? You seem to have all the words to give out, so just a beautiful Saturday afternoon story here for the Lions, who came out, finished the first 45 with a 2-goal deficit. And you're sitting there going, well, this Belhaven Blazers defense, they've given up 9 all season. And this Lions team, well, they're not the most defensively sound team. They've given up 43 goals going into this game. But we know how dangerous this offense is with 45. And you start the next half, and you're like, well, the Lions need to up the intensity a little bit. They need to start bringing a little bit more firepower. They move Davis Knight to the central attacking mid-roll. They have Jacob Osteen, who's such a threat moving in. Next thing you know, Lions grab themselves a penalty kick. Beautiful slot in the bottom right corner for Jacob Osteen. Opens the scoreline for the Lions, 1-2. Then a couple minutes later, Pascaru wins a beautiful ball on the left wing. Sends one in and finds the foot of Puckett. Makes it all even at 2-2. And then you move Mattis up with Vogel. And you already had Davis Knight up top. And my goodness, the speed kills with this Lions offense. And one little flick over the top. Mattis slots it through underneath the left hand of Rudolph, the goalie for the Blazers. And my goodness, what a second half. What a beautiful way to not only recover from getting essentially shut down. Only 3 shots in the entire half for the Lions going into the second half. And, well, that's how many goals they grabbed in the second 45 minutes of this matchup.
The Belhaven Blazers had not given up a goal since October 3rd when they tied Mississippi University for women 1-1. The greatest margin of defeat was a 3-2 loss to Rhodes. Actually, the greatest margin of defeat was technically a 2-0 loss to University of the Ozarks, but that was the greatest goals given up in a loss was a 3-2 loss to Rhodes. Lions match that here today, this afternoon from the Walker Athletic Complex. This is a huge statement win for Piedmont as we go into the conference tournament.
Absolutely. There's a lot of movement potentially. Speaking of the conference tournament, Lions record now on the conference is 3-3 overall. They advanced to 6-8-3, concluding their regular season, but they have beaten Berea College, who's currently 3-2 in conference. So if Berea happens to drop a match, they can jump ahead of them, who are currently second. Of course, they do have losses to both Covenant and LaGrange. So no matter what the result is, unless LaGrange happens to drop, which I don't think can happen because they've already played their 6th conference matchup. So Maryville, who they've also lost to, will stay in front. So the highest Piedmont can jump is basically up 1 spot, and that's going to move them up to 5th overall in the conference. So they will now face the 4th overall team, which is likely going to be either LaGrange or Maryville themselves. So it'll be an interesting to see what the bracket really shapes out with in terms of the CCS playoffs. A lot of just the records are minorly separated. Number one team Belhaven now falls to 3-1-2 in conference play. They're going to be okay, still locking down the number one seed.
Well,
unless Berea or Covenant happen to grab a win, then they could jump ahead.
Other.
Oh.
Berea
so barring
and
a tie,
face each other. So if there is a tie, it could mean that Belhaven will walk away with the CCS, and the entire tournament will run through Belhaven. But it all depends on how Berea and Covenant do, and that game is set to go at 4 o'clock today.
So keep an eye out on the CCS website. You could also just look up likely Covenant Athletics or Berea College if you happen to want to stay up to date on the results of that. It's unlikely we'll be back here for a playoff match for the men's soccer team. Of course, they're going to be in the conference tournament, just likely away as highest. They're going to be the 5 seed, so barring any upsets.
Highest the 4 seed. Or see if they go above. I believe they go above LaGrange, would they not?
They have a loss to LaGrange, so they'd still be below in the head-to-head result.
They do, in fact, go to 5.
So barring any upset, they would be an away team. But, you know, you never know. We've seen magic happen before in the postseason with the Lions. So keep an eye out, of course, if there happens to be any form of a shocking defeat from one of the top seeds in the conference. Well, we'll be back here for postseason action.
We will see. But in case this is the last game that we've seen here from the Walker Athletic Complex this season for men's soccer, thank you for joining us for what has been a fairly remarkable Piedmont men's soccer season. Thank you so much for all the viewers and all of the support that we have gotten over the course of this season. We appreciate it. Be sure to tune in for more games on Piedmont University Athletics on YouTube. We should have